Welcome to EPG Pathshala. My name is Dr. Neeraj Agarwal and I am Assistant Professor in University Institute of Hotel and Tourism Management, Punjab University, Chandigarh. I am presenting lecture on module titled Cellar Management. Under the paper titled Food and Beverage Service Operations and Management. After completing this module, the learners would be able to understand functions of cellar area, various equipments kept in cellar area, types of records maintained in the cellar. Now, I will discuss the introduction. Cellar is the area or a store room where all the alcoholic beverages used in the hotels or clubs are being kept. Its primary function is to record, maintain and to protect all alcoholic beverages such as wines, beer and spirits from theft and helps in maintaining the quality of the beverages by storing them at appropriate temperature. Cellar also monitors and records all the movement of beverages inside and outside the cellar. Traditionally, the cellar is located underground with a cool and constant temperature so that the alcoholic beverages do not get disturbed by the change in temperature and vibration by the machines working in the upper level. Cellar might be of any size, it makes any difference to the cellar's basic function of storing alcoholic beverages. Nowadays in hotels and clubs, bulk beer is also being kept in the wine cellars. The major concern is the operations and the maintenance of the beer reticulation system along with the operation and maintenance of bulk wine and spirit dispensing systems. Cellar man is responsible for taking care of cellar. His main duties are as follows. Store alcoholic beverages according to the temperature required to prevent them from spoilage. Issuing alcoholic beverages to various restaurants, bar and club whenever required against the requisition from duly signed by authorized signatory. Stock the cellar with adequate amount of wines, beer, spirits and other alcoholic beverages. Maintain and update the records of cellar room. Check for any discrepancy and report to a senior authority. Ensuring the uninterrupted supply of alcoholic beverages to various outlets. Storing the beverages in proper racks. Maintaining the various stock registers of cellar room. Now, storing beverages in cellar. As soon as alcoholic beverages are received from the supplier, they are immediately transferred to the cellar for proper storing and control so that they can be issued to various departments against the requisition. Beverages such as wines and beers should be handled with utmost care and stored carefully at appropriate temperature in assigned racks to prevent them from spoilage as comparison to spirits which are not as sensitive to wines and beers. Ideal location for the cellar is basement, which is dark, cool and free from any vibration which may affect the wines, and the temperature should be constant. Cellar should also be well ventilated and clean with a dim lighting. Some cellar also have bottle cooling shelf for efficient control on the temperature at the cellar to store beer and wines. Cellar is divided into 5 various subsections to store the various beverages as follow. Front part of the cellar having a temperature of 13 to 16 degree centigrade to store spirits, red wines and also keg beers if the movement of keg beer is high in the premises. Refrigerated area having temperature of 50 degrees Fahrenheit for storing white wines, rosé wines, sparkling wines and champagnes. Depending on the low movement of keg beers, a refrigerated area maintaining the temperature of 6 to 8 degrees centigrade is also maintained in the cellars. Bottled, canned beers, mineral waters, and soft drinks are stored in the refrigerated area, maintaining the temperature of 13 to 15 degree centigrade. A separate area for empties received from various outlets and bars are also maintained to avoid the misuse of empties and to sell them. Wine bottles with cork should always be stored horizontally in the designated racks so that the cork remains in touch with the wine, or else the cork will get withered and the cork particles will get mixed in the wine, resulting in corky wine. It is almost important to check that cork remains airtight so that it does not allow air to enter, whereas other spirits, liqueurs, syrups and cordials should always be kept on the shelves. Fortified wines are stored upright except vintage port, which are to be stored on their sides. Unopened bottle cases are stored in the lower racks, whereas opened cases should be emptied and bottles from it be stored properly in their place at upper racks by placing new arrivals at the back and the old stock in the front, allowing the cellarman to issue the old stock first. All bottles are to be assigned by numbers to implement better control and to be stored as per the bin number. Cellar tools and equipments. Cellars should be equipped with all the essential tools and equipment and be stored in one part of the cellar in a rack. Equipment and tools required in the cellar and beer storage areas are as follows. Stillions. Casks are supported on stillions or thralls, which are made up of wooden rack or brick platform on which the casks are placed for service. In many cellars, casks of keg beers are situated together in one area of the cellar with the carbon dioxide gas cylinders bracketed into the wall. Shives. These are round piece of hardwood placed in the bunghole of the cask just before it is sent out from the brewery. The shive has a small hole in the center which does not go completely throughout the wood. When the cask case is vented and the hole is completed by punching out the thin center with the help of wooden mallet, this will allow the gas to escape from the cask. Spiles. These are used to bung the holes to prevent the carbon dioxide from escaping, which helps in building the pressure in the cask. As a result, beer regains its condition frothy head. Spiles can be hard or soft. Hard spile is made of hardwood, whereas soft spiles is made of bamboo, which allows the gas to escape and to prevent the beer from being too gassy and difficult to serve. Filter. These are used the cellarman to return good quality beers to the cask, which was drawn out of the pipe before cleaning the pipeline. Filters should always be kept clean and to be used when clean filter papers. Beer taps. These are the taps made from brass used for dispensing cask conditioned beers from the cask. These taps must be cleaned and sterilized after use for hygienic purpose. Dipsticks. This is used as indicator to check the quantity of beer left in the cask. Dipstick is immersed in the cask through shives and then taken out, showing indicating the quantity of beer left. Inline coolers provided for cooling the keg beer, which are adjusted to the correct temperature for each beer. Scotches. These are wooden triangular blocks used to stop the cask from rolling. Electrical impelled pump. These dispense accurate amount of beer into the glass when the beerman press the button. Now, I will discuss the practices for a good cellar management. Following points are to be practiced for managing a cellar operations. The cellar should be clean and well ventilated. Cask, after receiving, should be placed on stillions. Temperature in the cellar to be maintained so that change in temperature do not spoil the delicate beverages like wine and beer. Spilling to be done to reduce the excessive pressure held inside the cask. Before a cask is required in the bar, tapping must be done at least 24 hours before. During regular intervals, pipes and engines to be cleaned for hygienic purpose. After closing time, excessive beer left in pipes should be taken out. If a beer is being returned, it should be filtered back into the cask. Cellar should not be overstocked as it can make the cellar looks dirty. Beverages should be supplied regularly to the various outlets situated in the hotels. Issue beverages to the various outlets against the requisition received only. Spiles removed during service to be replaced after the service is closed. Equipment available in the cellar should be cleaned on a regular basis. Usages should be returned to the cellar so that the proper entries can be marked in the usage book. Cellar area to be cleaned on a regular basis with the help of mild solution. Cleaning of the cellar area should be cleaned regularly so the beverages should be stacked properly in the area to avoid any breakages of bottles and bad odor. Equipments. Kegs, casks and other gas equipments are expensive equipments and may carry a deposit so that should be placed in a secure place and must be returned to the supplier whenever next supplies are received from the supplier and recorded on a return slip. Empty cask conditioner beer containers should have a hard spile knocked into the sheave and the tap hole should be sealed with a cork. Gas cylinders are given a 5-year checkup, so it is most important to use them in a strict rotation and to return empty ones as soon as possible after use to allow the supplier to have them maintained correctly. Empty bottles should be stored out and packed into their respective crates either at the end of a service or during the preparation time on the morning of the next day. Afterwards, crates should be stacked in a secure area. Walls, floors and ceilings. As the cellar remains damp, it encourages molds to grow on the walls and ceilings, which may increase the chances of infecting cask conditioned beer. Therefore, walls and ceilings of a cellar should be whitewashed or painted in a light color at regular intervals. Beside the cellar will also acquire an unpleasant smell. Unnecessary wetting should be avoided and ventilation be provided as far as possible. The cellar, cooling air vents and intakes must be free from dust and dirt and any filters cleaned or replaced whenever necessary. If the cooling is on contract, then the contractor should be informed about the non-working of or cleaning of cooling vents for necessary action. The floor should be scrubbed and washed down at least once a week and dried afterward to make the cellar area neat. Little mild diluted bleach or chloride of lime may be sprinkled over the floor as this will inhibit the growing of mold. Avoid using strong disinfectants as they may spoil the wine and beer. Drainage. The drain, gully and sump must be kept clean and fresh. If there is a sump, it must be scrubbed out at least once a week using bleach and chlorides of lime. Also ensure that the sump pump, filter and grating are kept clean and in position. Rubbish. Rubbish may not be allowed to deposit or accumulates or left lying around as it can act as an obstacle to free passage or possible fire risk. Rubbish must be properly binned outside the building in an area especially constructed for this purpose. Other equipments, corks and spiles used for cask conditioned beers should be kept in plastic bags in the cellar tidy. All items of equipment such as beer taps, dipsticks, beer filters, jugs and buckets must be washed out after the use and dried. They should be put away when not in use. Now, I will discuss cellar control procedure. Strict monitoring and controlling process is required for a proper cellar control, as it is a major area where all the alcoholic beverages are being kept. To ensure the proper flow of beverages inside and outside the cellar, many type of records are being maintained. All the F&B outlets where alcoholic beverages are being served get the beverage issued from the cellar after providing duly filled requisition form to the seller. This may be on daily or a weekly basis depending on the organization policy. Requisition form should be duly signed by the authorized signatory for a control purpose. All the outlets situated in the hotels or bar are required to maintain the par stock of the alcoholic beverages sufficient for a day or a week. Entries in the bin cards are maintained. While receiving and issuing beverages, to check the amount of stock left at any given point of time. It also helps the cellarman to know when the beverages are to be ordered for the cellar. In the bar, all drinks are checked before issue. A daily consumption sheet is completed each day after the end of the service by copying down the sales shown on the top copy of the wine sheet. The consumption sheet will also list the complete stock held in the dispense bar. Later on, at the end of the week, the consumption sheet is totaled up, thereby showing the total sales for that period. These totals may be then transferred into a bar stock book for costing purpose. Flow chart of the cellar management is shown as below. Now, the daily consumption sheet. We include the name of the drink, bin card number, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6 and day 7, and then we total it out. Now I will discuss cellar control and records. Cellar control is of utmost importance to any establishment as it stores more valuable stock and fetches more percentage of profit by the sale of beverages. It also tempts dishonest staff to indulge in fraud and various malpractices, which compels the seller to have a foolproof system. The cellar is the main source of supply of alcoholic beverages to various outlets in the hotel for sales. It uses the following records to maintain strict control and ensure that every bottle is accounted for. Purchase order. A purchase order is a form or a format used to list down the beverages to be purchased containing the essential information such as price of the beverage, expected delivery date, other important information. The purchase order is a primary cellar control tool helping the supplier to know about the beverages to be supplied along with their quantity and type to be supplied as per the requirement of the seller. Seller inward book or goods received book. Also known as goods received book, details of the goods received are to be recorded in the seller inward book. All deliveries should be recorded on full detail. While receiving all the items, beverages are to be checked properly for any damages, expiry, broken bottles and so on. Each delivery should show the following information: name and address of the supplier, delivery date, delivery note, invoice number, order number, list of items delivered, price of the item, quantity and unit, total price, discounts if applicable. Bin card. Bin card is used in the cellar to check the stock level of each item at any given point of time. These bin cards is attached to the shelf or racks for each type of beverages. Each beverage will have an individual bin card and all the entries pertaining to receiving and issuing of that beverage is recorded in that individual bin card. It also shows the maximum and minimum level of stock of individual item, helping in determining the recorder level. When the stock gets minimum in bin card, seller man gives further order of that beverage after obtaining proper permission from the concerned authority. Information like brand name, size, quantity, storage information, date of receiving, date of issuing are mentioned in the bin card. Modern seller, for security reasons, also stamp the expensive beverages like wines and spirit with their own stamp. Now, we discuss about beverage requisition. Every outlet selling beverages should fill a beverage requisition form to get the item from the seller. These requisitions may be controlled by either serial number or by color and are normally prepared in duplicate or triplicate. Details of the same as follow. First, or the top copy of the requisition form is forwarded to the seller. Second, a duplicate copy is forwarded to the accounts department or F&B control. Third, a triplicate copy remains with the bar or outlet for their reference to check the items received from the seller. Outlet or bar name, date of filling the requisition form, list of beverages required from the seller, quantity, size and number / units of beverages required. All beverages should be duly signed by the authorized personnel deputed by the management. Beverage requisition form also helps in controlling the movement of items from the seller into the bar or outlet and to avoid too much stock being taken at one time, thus overstocking the bar. The level of the stock held in the bar is known as par stock. Seller control book or seller stock ledger. This format is used to record all daily receiving and daily issuing of each beverages to and from seller. All the movement of beverages are recorded in the cost price. Goods are accepted with invoice or delivery note and verified against the bin card and the perpetual inventory record. Seller control book have the item, unit, opening stock, issue, total issues, return, book stock value, balance by stock, take variance value, issued at the cost and the signature of seller manager. Ullage, breakages and spoilage record. The term ullage refers to all inferior quality or damaged bottles, wines with faulty cork, weeping wines, damaged beer casks and so on, which require immediate action and to be returned to the supplier for replacement. To record all ullages, a book known as ullages book is maintained in the cellar. The value of return and the items returns are recorded in the return book and credit memo is issued. Breakage of bottles due to mishandling should be recorded in the breakage column of the book to know the value of beverages lost. All these records should be entered with a proper explanation and countersigned by the authorized signatory, as frequent ullages and breakages need investigation. Spoilage report, it have the name of section, date, time, number of items, quantity by unit, total cost and record by. So this is the information which has been written and then it should be checked by and signed by the authorized authority. Next is credit memo. It is requested from the supplier for the value of goods returned due to damages or for any discrepancies between the purchase order and the invoice. It includes the items invoiced but not delivered. It is prepared in duplicate. One copy goes to the supplier and another one to the accounts for information. Credit memo is prepared for the following: wrong goods shipped, wrong quantity shipped, wrong quality shipped, broken or damaged merchandise, not in stock, items invoiced but not delivered, short on delivery, old or expiry goods, empties, computational errors. Empties return book. Supplier charge for the containers sent along with the goods such as crates, kegs and so on. Therefore, it becomes necessary to maintain the records of all those empties and must be returned in good condition to the supplier to claim the credit. For the same empties, return book is to be maintained to keep the record of empties in hand and return to the supplier. Next is transfer book. This book is used in the various F&B outlets /bar to record the movement of stock between F&B outlets or bar. For this we have inter-bar transfer form. In this we have information we write about to whom or which department it has been given, the date, item size, quantity, unit, cost, total cost, ordered by, and the bar in charge who have received it. So this all information is provided in this format. Next is barcode systems. Barcodes are now a vital part of many modern stock control systems. It identifies items precisely for stock control and ordering purposes. When used in cellar, the barcodes on all stock being received or issued can be swiped in the same way as seen in supermarket, quickly recording its movement and adjusting the stock records immediately. So now I will summarize this module. A cellar is an area meant for storing all types of alcoholic beverages to protect them from theft, prevent them from spoilage, and to issue them against the requisition as and when required by various bars and other licensed outlets. Cellarman is in charge of the cellar room, and his responsibilities include stocking the cellar with adequate supply, neither more nor less, checking the quality and quantity while receiving the stock, issuing them against the authorized requisitions, maintaining and updating the cellar room. Cellar is divided into various sections to store the beverages properly, and cleaning of all the equipment is done frequently. The ideal location of the cellar is basement underground to prevent the cellar from light and vibrations. Temperature is well controlled in the cellar as change in temperature may spoil the wines and beer. The sale of beverages brings revenue to the hotel. Therefore, strict monitoring is done while receiving, issuing and storing so that every bottle can give revenue. All the records such as inward report, ullage and breakage report, bin cards, empties return books are to be kept updated and maintained properly. It is also important that the cellar is never left unattended to avoid the entry of any unauthorized person in the cellar. Thanking you and have a nice day.